Hey, so on my way to the gym this morning, and I haven't gone in a couple days, and I've been doing that a lot lately, and the reason why is I'm sore, like like just started working out, haven't ever touched weights before in my life sore, and it is awesome and not so much at the same time. I've been wanting this for a while, and I don't know what I'm doing different, but whatever it is, it's working. You know, when you first start working out, you haven't touched weights in a long time, it doesn't take much. You do a couple exercises and, you know, you wake up the next day sore. I'm more of a 48-hour, which has been a problem in the past because I wake up the next day and I'm like, oh, I'm not that bad, and then I go work out, and then the next day, you know, I'm feeling it from the day before, and makes it so my whole body hurts. But anyway, you know, as you progress, the body's an amazing thing like that. It gets used to things and it prepares for it, so it ends up taking a lot more to get those same results that you know, we're experiencing. And my mind's messed up like that, where if I'm not hurting, I feel like I didn't do my job. I feel like I wasn't working hard enough and I didn't do enough. And so I think that's where my problem was, that I was just overworking my body. So even though I felt I was getting 100% because I wasn't allowing myself any rest days, my body wasn't recovering. So yes, I was giving 100% of what I had to offer, but that wasn't my full potential, if you get what I'm saying. So anyway, I've, since the last show and taken a break here from being in the go mode, I've allowed myself rest days, and I think that therein lies the difference. I think that's the secret. Go figure. I mean, you know, it's being a hypocrite because I tell everybody how important rest days are, and then I wouldn't do them because I felt like when I was prepping for a show that I had to give my all, and that meant working out every day. I felt like if I took a rest day, that my fellow competitors weren't taking rest days, and so it was going to get me like ahead of the game, or I just want to make sure that I was doing everything in my power, everything I could. And like I said, I think that backfired on me because I did legs, let's see, Sunday, and it's Saturday, and I'm just now able to walk. Like, it just now doesn't hurt when I sit down or get up. I did shoulders on Saturday, so a week ago, and my shoulders are still sore. It's crazy because, like I said, I'm not working harder in the gym. I mean, I am as far as, you know, what I'm giving it, but sometimes my workouts have even been shorter. You know, and I'm going in there just more to have fun and enjoy it rather than focused on having to get, you know, so much done, or I have to, you know, be at this certain point or being here at least this long. And it's just a different mindset, and it's working for me. I'm going to try to remember this when it comes to prep and not be crazy and allow myself those rest days, because, you know, your muscles aren't going to grow if you can't break them down and let them rest, you know. I'm reading this book right now. It's an old book by Bill Phillips, and he did this challenge like back in 1997, and to get people motivated, and it's called Body for Life. And without going into it, he just says a lot of things in there that really hit home, and how to approach things and myths. And even though we say things, you know, hearing other people say them just really drills it home. And he made this analogy saying, you know, working out more is not going to get you better results. It's actually going to make you go backwards, and it's so true. And he said the body, you know, imagine it's a tower or building, and you go and work out, okay, and that's the same as, you know, an earthquake coming in, and it kind of knocks knocks the building. So then you've got, you know, the crews coming in to build it back up, and let's say another earthquake hits before they're done. So now it's got to repair that much more. You didn't get anything from it. The building isn't stronger yet because it was still needing repair. And you know, it's like our muscles. If you have to wait till it's repaired itself and recovered from the workout you've given it. If you sit there and go and work out on sore muscles, you're not giving yourself any time to build. So the results you're seeking aren't gonna be there, you know? So anyway, so if I need to take 2 or 3 days of rest, I'm taking 2 or 3 days of rest. That's what I've been doing. And like I said, I can see huge amounts of progress just in these last few weeks than 3 months prior to that of working my tail off. So I'm all about working less, getting more results, aren't you? So yeah, I'm excited to see how that's going to benefit me in a few months here when I go back on prep. Hopefully I'll have gained a little bit more size. But yeah, word. In other news, we have an elf on the shelf, and I hate this thing. If you're a parent and you haven't bought your kids an elf on the shelf, don't do it. Don't do it. I was all on board with it before it got popular. So like 5 or 6 years ago when they like first came out, we got ourselves an elf on the shelf, and I was all into being elaborate and going crazy with it at night and putting all these, you know, massive displays on and having it get into trouble. And then that got old real quick, and I got tired of cleaning up the messes and trying to come up with things. And as the kids got older, each year they'd stay up later. It'd take them longer to fall asleep, so that made I had to stay up. And it just it got old quick. So this year, my kids are 9 and 10. I was saying how I was trying to tell them that maybe, you know, the elf stuff's coming after you hit 10 years old. Like, they need to go on to other kids in the world and, you know, help report the younger kids to Santa, and, you know, went into this whole thing, and it didn't work. They said, no, he stays, you know, it says, you know, he stays till we move out of the house or till we're grown up. And I was like, great. And they've been pretty disappointed, I can tell, like the last year too. The fact that he just pops up in certain places and sometimes even stays in the same spot, you know, for a night or two in a row. And so I felt like I needed to at least do a little extra something a couple nights this year. And the kids got it in their heads to record him, okay, and tape him doing mischief at night, which we quickly poo-pooed for obvious reasons. And then, you know, that seed had been planted in my husband's brain, and he kind of got excited on what he could do with, you know, video editing and whatnot and fishing line. So he went ahead and agreed and said, yeah, let's go ahead and film Sven. That's his name, Sven. And then we also have a reindeer that comes along named Prancer. But anyway, so he got on board with it. And mind you, although my kids are 9 and 10 years old, they still believe in the magic of Christmas. Like, Santa Claus is as real as all get out. This elf really comes to life. Like, you cannot tell them otherwise, which I'm kind of shocked because my husband and I both realized Santa wasn't real or had it broken to us at a much younger age. I think we were in like 1st and 2nd grade. Oh, sorry, you guys were just seeing the top of my head there. Anyway, so I thought that maybe they were stringing us along a little bit, because I did that with my parents, because I thought if they know that I don't believe in Santa Claus anymore, they're not going to come anymore. Santa's not going to come and bring me gifts. So I thought that might be the case, but we tested that theory and it was not true. Our daughter is going to be in 6th grade next year, and she, I think we're going to have to break the news to her though before next year, because she moves to a new school and it's junior high and high school. So people are going to, her friends are probably going to break it to her. She's going to find out, and I don't want her to be blindsided by that, or, you know, kind of look silly for still believing in Santa Claus. So this is probably her last year. But anyway, so while we did this video, and it took like 2 days of editing because it was a lot of layering and cropping out and, you know, filtering all this stuff out. We really, just for 5 minutes, we realized, shoot, we need to make this, like, although cool, something that the kids are not gonna want to do again, because we don't want them to think it's awesome and then want to tape him every night, right? So we came up with the idea, and what we did was you know, we'd catch him doing whatever he was doing, and then he would notice that he was being filmed and come knock over the camera, and then it would go to static. And then we had the reindeer gather all the presents and the stockings that were hung and everything, put them in a blanket and take them out like they were going out to the trash. And we had the elf sitting in a chair outside their bedrooms, because their bedrooms are next to each other, and he was sitting with his arms crossed and with an expo marker. And in my son's room, he has a whiteboard. We had written on there something along the lines of, you did a bad thing and you got caught. Do not let it happen again. This is your one and only warning. So we thought, okay, that'll scare them a little bit. They'll know not to tape him anymore. Man, did that backfire. You can have like the best intentions and it just blows right up in your face. And that was one for us. So scarred our children for life, I'm pretty sure. Our daughter wrote a long letter to Sven and Santa saying how sorry she was and she didn't know and please forgive her. All this stuff, like almost started crying, and she's a hard shell to crack. She's one of those women that's like, I mean, I fear her as a teenager, you know, like she doesn't cry. She's very manipulating and things like that, you know. She's a hard stone to crack. So to see her like almost cry, I was like, oh dear God. And then she was in a mood all day, like sad, didn't want to eat. When we tried to get her to watch the video, because my husband's like, man, we like put some time in this video. She's not gonna not watch it, you know, because she's like, just delete it. I don't even want to see it. Erase whatever's on there, you know. She's like, no, I'm not watching it. So when we put it on for our son to watch, we like forced her to be in the room. We're evil, I guess. She's sitting there doing this, you know, and when she sees the elf come on the screen, she like ran off screaming, I'm not watching it, I'm not watching it. So yeah, that didn't go over too well. And then our son, he thought it was pretty cool and kind of like, oh my gosh, we shouldn't have taped him, you know, sorry Sven. And then he watched him on the video and got really like creeped out. He's like, oh my God, like the doll was Chucky, kind of creeped out. He thought that the elf would come to life and look like a actual human and be doing its thing, and then it turns back into a doll. He didn't realize that no, the doll's still a doll, and it like goes around, and that really creeped him out, and he thought it looked weird. And then afterwards he saw how angry the elf got, so he went and talked to the elf for like 5 minutes, like all like secretive, like apologizing and saying things, and then wanted us to lock his bedroom door at night because he was having nightmares that the elf was going to come and like do things to him and hurt him somehow. So so the moral of the story, or the lesson here, is if you do have an elf on the shelf and you're into like doing videos and taping and stuff, do not tape your elf on the shelf. Learn from our mistake. Don't scar your children. So yeah, needless to say, that won't be happening again. I thought at least the silver lining here would be that maybe they were so scared of the elf now that he wouldn't have to come back anymore. But no, that didn't work. They still want him to come. They still, you know, expect him to come every night and are excited to see him, even though they're creeped out by him now. I don't get it. So I think this is Sven's last year. I've decided whether they want him to come back or not. Although I you know, enjoy letting them have their fantasies and imagination. I you know, want them to hold on to believing in, you know, those things that are magical when you're a child, as long as they can, because we lose that, I think, you know, too fast already. It's going to happen. When it happens, then it's gone forever. So I believe in, you know, letting your kids indulge in fantasies as long as it's healthy. But yeah, I think the elf on the shelf is done after this year. With that being said, I'm here. Time to go work out. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm feeling buys. I'm feeling buys today. I'm like a dude. I enjoy arm day way too much. Arm and back day. I hate leg day. And abs. I hate it. Glutes, legs, abs. No. I love shoulders and arms and back. I love upper body. So I'm the wrong sex here. But let's get it done. Have a good Saturday, guys, and don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and see you next time.